Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're giving it a few minutes as people start trickling in. In the meantime, please share where you're joining us from in the chat box. We love to see how near and far we're reaching. I am joining from Brooklyn, New York, where it's getting colder by the minute, I feel. We have Nebraska, Montana, Atlanta. I'm seeing a lot of US. Hi, everyone. Dubai, hello. I'm sure the weather is much better there. London, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Welcome, everyone. Guatemala. I love this. I love the international presence. And I know it's not easy with all the different time zones, so thank you all. All right. So, as we wait for more people to join us, I want to remind you that if you are reporting for GRESB next year, you should submit your Fitwel project before the end of the year to guarantee that it counts towards your GRESB reporting. To support this effort, as you see on the screen, and also to support your 2025 certification goals more broadly, we are currently offering a 10% discount on all certification fees for both FSP and STAR certifications. So, if you have projects that you're currently working on, or if you know that you're going to be working on specific projects next year, I highly recommend that you take advantage of this discount now and lock in the certification price. You can always continue to work on your projects after you've paid for certification, and you can submit whenever you are ready. Just use the promo code Success 2026 for this discount. I'm going to wait a little bit longer. Or is that maybe we can't start? Maybe we can't start. Okay. So, I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Nadine Rashid. I lead partnerships and product innovation here at Fitwel. And I'm joined by my colleague and dear friend, Denelin Itzek, who heads our product team. Denelin, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
We are happy to have you. All right, so in today's session, we'll be walking you through the new tools and features that we've released this past year to streamline the certification process and make sure that we are reducing the documentation burden while maintaining the rigor of the Fitwel standard. We'll be talking about how these features impact both STAR and FSP certifications. And just for you, for those who are not familiar, Star or new to Fitwel, STAR certification is our 3-year full asset certification, and FSP is our annual scale certification pathway. It's made up of a subset of the Fitwel strategies and is designed to be implemented across portfolios. If you're not familiar, check out the resources that we're dropping in the chat box right now. And some of these resources really help you with selecting which pathway is right for your projects and portfolios. But I just wanted to give this brief kind of high level intro as we will be talking about these pathways as we go through this webinar today. All right. Before we dig in, let me start with why we are prioritizing efficiency. We really are focused on efficiency because we need to meet the demand that we're seeing in the market. We've been seeing an increase in demand for healthier buildings, mostly driven by occupants and tenants who are prioritizing and choosing places that have a positive impact on their quality of life. And more importantly, we're also seeing a demand for building certifications that guard against health washing and ensure that the investments put towards health promoting features have a measurable impact behind them. So, with this demand coming to the industry, we are hearing the industry asking for more streamlined certification processes that lighten the documentation burden and open up capacity on their teams. So we've heard the feedback. I'm sure a lot of you have this need as well. And this is really one of the things that we've been prioritizing here at Fitwel this past year. Our goal is market transformation, which means helping you spend less time documenting strategies and more time implementing them, enhancing environments, and expanding your impact. And that's really what we're going to be talking about today. For those of you who are not new to Fitwel, you probably remember that about this time last year, we released Fitwel's latest version, V3, in addition to launching the redesign of the Fitwel platform. Everything we're going to cover today is building on that work that we launched last year. And it's really speaking to the incremental improvements that we keep doing. But before we jump in, one last introduction. We want to introduce Nova. If you haven't heard of Nova, please make sure that you're following our socials and you're subscribed to our newsletter and start clicking on these emails because that's where all the updates and the information is. Think of Nova as your guide to all things efficiency within the Fitwel platform. And what our product team has really been focused on this year and what Denelin is going to talk about. Denelin, tell us about Nova. What falls under Nova?
Yeah, so some of the key features that we've been working on include the scorecard selection tool, along with a full range of efficiencies such as portfolio-wide strategies, auto-scored strategies, recertification efficiencies, and IAQ data integration. These features are specifically designed to help our users as they implement Fitwel at scale across their real estate portfolios. And as mentioned earlier, this level of scalability and volume is possible due to our comprehensive backend and front-end platform redesign that we had released in alignment with V3.0. So true to Fitwel's approach, we collaborate very, very closely with our stakeholders to identify and prioritize features that address operational redundancies and unblock user pain points. We also prototyped these solutions hand in hand with our partners to ensure that we met their needs. So as always, please continue to provide your valuable feedback to your dedicated relationship manager or by submitting a request through our help center. I do hope that the features we discussed today show that we are always working towards improvements and eager to help make the platform a bit easier for your process.
That's great. And I echo that. Everything that we do is really in response to what we're hearing from you and from the industry. So as you are using Fitwel, keep giving us this feedback and reach out to our team. All right. Let's start with the scorecard selection tool. How does this tool work and what problems is it solving for our users?
Yeah, so this tool, it's a design matrix that's been integrated within the project registration process. So by answering a few key questions about your asset type, users will be guided forward with confidence, knowing that they've selected the correct project type, scorecard, and certification type. So on this slide here, you'll see that we actually have included a quick way to access the tool outside the registration process through the scorecard recommendation tab. We've added this here to help support our many users who like to use our offline scorecard checklist. Now they're able to make sure that they're using the right worksheet to assess their project before starting registration. Our main goal with this was really to eliminate guesswork and reduce submission errors, which further delayed the certification process. So previously, if projects selected the incorrect scorecard or certification type during registration, the team could potentially spend significant time and resources going through strategy and compliance documentation requirements, only to realize that they're on the wrong scorecard. And while the Fitwel team is always quick to respond and to help and catch these errors ahead of time, we just wanted to correct this early and provide clearer guidance from the start to avoid unnecessary delays later on. And actually, since integrating the scorecard selection process, we've noticed a significant drop in submission errors related to the registration process. I want to do a short demonstration of the scorecard selection tool for you today. And so we do have our head of marketing, Janelle, who will be acting as a user to show how this tool works during the registration process.
Hi there.
Hi, and thanks for helping out today, Janelle.
Sure thing.
Okay, so in the last part of the registration process, Janelle will pull up a screen to show the platform. She will click on resume to complete registration for this project. And from there, she will answer questions about the project type, scorecard, and then certification type. And the response options are also really helpful because they include detailed information, which is actually inspired from frequently asked questions that we've received by project teams in the past. Just for the sake of time, we won't read through everything, but we hope that this demo helps just to like illustrate the idea. So for project type, let's pretend her asset is a building. So she will click on that selection and be prompted to the next question where single building applies in her case. And so when she selects continue, she'll determine the scorecard. Her project actually falls under the workplace category since it is a multi-tenant commercial office building, which you can see from the bullet point examples. The asset is a multi-tenant, but it does not include on-site building management, so she will select the third or middle option. And then from here, she'll see the recommended scorecard and a description of the areas of impact and occupant impact information. If this is accurate, she can select continue. For this certification type, her project is occupied, so she will select yes. And the building is constructed, so she will choose the first option, construction completed. And then from here, she'll see information about built certification and how it relates to strategy requirements and compliance documentation. At any time throughout this process, Janelle can always go back in case she finds any discrepancies that she wishes to change. But once she selects continue, she'll land on this last page where she can review the scorecard selection recommendation, and then she can confirm recommendation and generate scorecard. But going back to this slide, I just wanted to show that this tool mirrors the scorecard recommendation tool. However, for the last page or that last step, it'll actually include next step guidance and links to resources, including a link to the scorecard checklist, which users can download right away, knowing that they're using the best fit scorecard. We hope that all of this reduces onboarding time for new users and project teams by ensuring that they're like set up just successfully from the very beginning.
That's great. Thank you, Janelle and Denelin, for this. And I do remember when we first started this project, the goal was to reduce errors during registration. And I know that we've heard great feedback from our users so far. So I'm glad that it's doing exactly that and that it's reducing effort on the project team. And speaking of reducing redundancies, one thing we noticed over the years is that many of our clients use the same operational policies across a portfolio or across multiple assets. And until now, when documenting for Fitwel, they had to upload the same policies multiple times for different assets and have them reviewed multiple times. But a constant request that we've been receiving and that we've received over the years is to streamline this process. So, did we do it?
Yes, and this has been a long dream of ours too. And I'm so excited to talk about this next efficiency. So you can actually see Nova, the robot icon in the box, to indicate that this is a smart scorecard efficiency. So portfolio-wide strategies, also known as PWS for short, is a first of its kind efficiency that allows shared policies and operational protocols to be uploaded just once and approved at the portfolio level and applied across multiple projects to streamline the asset certification. This solution helps to eliminate repetitive documentation uploads, reduce duplicative certification reviews, and ensure a single unified assessment for shared policies and protocols. We'll share a short demo of the process in a moment, but on this slide, you'll see a screenshot at the top, which is an example of a PWS overview page for a STAR certification using the multifamily residential scorecard. So the portfolio has completed the 12 subset of strategies and is pursuing 11 of them, with a potential of 18 points being received for projects pursuing STAR certification. Although this PWS is in progress, let's say it's actually complete. So in the image below, you'll see an efficiency banner with Nova showing the strategy as pre-approved due to the portfolio-wide strategy efficiency. We're really excited about this because this efficiency allows teams to focus less on administrative work and more on delivering healthier, high-performing projects at scale across their entire portfolio.
That's amazing. And that really is the goal of everything that we're doing here. And Denalyn, congratulations to you and the team for getting this out. I know it's been a long dream of ours and of our clients. All right. So what we're seeing here is that this multifamily residential project has 12 portfolio-wide strategies. Is this consistent across all scorecards, or what is the range? How does this differ?
Yeah, so the number of portfolio-wide strategies will depend on the applicable certification that it will be impacting, such as FSP or STAR scorecards. So on average, the subset of portfolio-wide strategies is roughly about like 20% of the full scorecard. So they typically range between like 6 to 10 strategies for FSP scorecards or 10 to 20 strategies for STAR scorecards. Again, it just depends on the scorecard. However, the impact compounds generously. So imagine receiving approval for 5 portfolio strategies that are part of an FSP scorecard. And let's say that the portfolio plans to add 30 FSP projects. That's 150 strategies within the portfolio that are receiving automatic approval. 150 strategies that don't need to be documented at all.
That's great. And basically, all these new projects that are using the solution will be starting with a number of strategies and their associated points that have already been achieved before doing anything, just when they start the project. This, I know, is going to have a huge impact on reducing documentation effort, especially for our users who are working at scale and who have multiple projects. This is great. I know that this feature is not full service on the platform yet. And I also know that many of our users, as we're saying, are eager to start it. So how do they get started?
Yeah, so as part of our MVP release, we have portfolio-wide strategies available for all FSP scorecards, whether you're pursuing design or built certification. And as part of the MVP, our users will not be able to add the PWS themselves, but anyone can take advantage and it's free. So in order to get started, please reach out to your dedicated relationship manager info@fitwel.org or through our website contact form, which we'll drop below in the chat. Um, from there, you'll just need to tell them which scorecard and certification type you'd like to use, and they'll help set it up. You can also use the scorecard recommendation tool to make sure you're giving accurate information too. But once the PWS is initiated on your portfolio, the portfolio team will receive an email notification letting them know that their PWS is available. So I'm going to call back Janelle, our friend, who is going to help show some examples of PWS and their application on the platform. So once she receives her email, she'll be able to go directly to the portfolio overview page where she will scroll down to see a portfolio-wide strategies tab at the bottom. In this example, you can see that a single portfolio can include multiple portfolio-wide strategies. And in this example, we have one that is in progress and the other is complete. So for the in progress, if she clicks on resume, she'll be directed to the PWS overview page, where she will see the status and impact on FSP scale certification. If she clicks on portfolio-wide strategies, she'll see the subset of strategies categorized by the targeted outcomes associated with FSP. Completing the strategies is very similar to the FSP scorecard, where you can see the strategy name, you can select yes, you can select no, view the requirement compliance options, upload documentation, view rationale and sample evidence, or you can even view requirements and compliance documents. We won't show it all here, but like once all strategies have been completed, Janelle would be able to click Submit PWS right there in the upper right-hand corner for Fitwel Review. And then if she goes to click back to the portfolio overview, she'll have to click on the portfolio-wide strategies tab where she can see the example of a completed PWS for a different type of scorecard. So this is for FSP MFR. And if she clicks view, she will see that the PWS has achieved 5 strategies here. If she goes back to the portfolio overview again, she can see any of the three example projects showing the efficiency in action. So for example, if she clicks on, MFR1, project example, and then on resume under the FSP section, she will see that 5 strategies are already completed. And then on the left side bar, she can see which sections that they've applied towards. So if she clicks on support high quality environment, she can see the efficiencies for like if you scroll down to target it or to tobacco and smoke-free environment, and then even further down, the integrated pest management plan. For these strategies, the credit assertion has been pre-selected along with the option selection, documentation already uploaded, and everything else needed to complete the strategy. So for the integrated pest management plan, if she clicks on view requirements and compliance documents, she'll see that any checkbox is already checked off. And this is the same for all the other FSP and MFR projects within the portfolio. If the above seems very overwhelming, don't worry. The instructions and details are shared throughout the various phases and touch points of the PWS process, whether it's through the platform pages or through email notifications that are sent during certain milestones. And again, just reach out to us if you ever need any assistance at all.
Yeah, this is really great. And so in summary, document your policies once, similar to how you document any Fitwel strategy, and it will be automatically applied across all the asset types that are in that portfolio. And your relationship manager, and anyone from our team, if you don't have a relationship manager, can help you do that. And just for those of you who don't know, relationship managers are dedicated members from our team who support our partners who are using Fitwel at scale. So again, if you're interested in becoming a Fitwel champion, reach out to us and we can support you with that. Um, so we started this webinar talking about how we're always making incremental improvements and we're improving on every single thing that we're doing. So you're showing us what is already in place. What is next on the roadmap for this feature?
Yeah, because we have an amazing engineering team. I'm actually happy to announce that development is currently underway for PWS to include all certification score or like all star certification scorecards, both designer built, and it will be released in early Q1.
That's amazing. And so, for those of you who are interested, and I know a lot of you are, you don't have to wait until Q1 when the release happens. You can reach out to us and let us know that you're interested, and we can start working with you and setting you up in anticipation for this release. This is really great, Denelyn. Thank you. All right, so moving on to the next Nova feature, another exciting feature, another one that reduces redundancy. Tell us more about the auto-scored strategies.
Yeah, so the auto score efficiency is actually an initiative that pulls from publicly available data accessed through external sources. So in the slide shown, you can see Nova displayed next to the pre-approved auto scored efficiency banner, giving our users immediate clarity and confidence that criteria has been met. In this strategy, automatic credit has been awarded for the Walkability 90 strategy for option 2. And our platform uses the project's location to scan 2 strategy requirements under this option. So first, that the project includes the minimum number of qualifying amenities as listed under the strategy. And then second, that those qualifying amenities are located within the required walking route distance of the strategy. What's really neat is that the platform will also check off all applicable boxes of the strategy or strategies and auto document those requirements to demonstrate how the asset qualifies. This really does help reduce the back and forth investigative work and eliminates manually created documentation and uploads, again, allowing project teams to put their energy towards asset-specific strategies.
Yeah, and this is really what we've been doing is trying to chip away at these requirements and make sure that whatever we can document ahead of time or at scale, that we're giving you the tools to do that. This is another exciting feature, and I know that we are going to continue to expand on it. But before that, to make it more tangible, what does a user need to do to benefit from this feature, Denalyn?
Honestly, it's very simple and it just kicks off automatically once a project completes the registration process and has access to their scorecard. So right now, the efficiency applies to all V3.0 workplace scorecards applying for STAR certification under the belt certification type. And again, the user does not have to provide any additional information or upload documentation. Just make sure you enter the correct address when you register and it auto-populates map-based scoring. What's also really great about this feature is it supports our global users, and it's not just limited to US-based projects only.
That's great. And so it continues to deliver on our promise to keep Fitwel global. Thanks for that. Thanks for that mention and reminder. All right, final question for me on this feature. What are the next steps? How do you see this expanding? I know we're looking at walkability, the walkability strategies. I know we released this for the first four strategies on the scorecard. What are the next steps? Are we planning to expand it to more strategies?
Absolutely, and that is exactly the plan. We started with the walkability strategies for the 5 workplace scorecards, but our next step is to expand it to all scorecards, including FSP scorecards. So by leveraging the platform's intelligence to automate and map locations, this efficiency lays the groundwork for us to expand to more location-based strategies, or even unlocking additional types of efficiencies that can also be pre-approved. So stay tuned because this is just the beginning of a ripple effect. So whereas portfolio-wide strategies mentioned earlier are primarily focused on operational policies and protocols, auto-scored efficiencies are focused on location-based strategies. So using Janelle's scorecard recommendation for the multi-tenant whole building scorecard earlier, let's say that this project is within a portfolio that has completed PWS approval for all strategies and meets the auto-scored efficiencies. That's 17 strategies for a total of 32 points that the team did not have to work on at all. For FSP, that's 11 strategies completed out of 38 strategies, or about 1/3 of the FSP scorecard completed with no additional worker uploads. And that's just one project. Imagine the compound effect for dozens within the portfolio.
Very, very exciting. I love all these features. Okay, so let's move on to talk about recertification. We all know that recertification is very important when it comes to maintaining the validity of a certification, maintaining your GRESB points for those of you who report for GRESB, and capturing continuous impact. And also going back to health washing, recertification is really essential to make sure that we're avoiding health washing. Earlier this year, we released recertification efficiency features to support the recertification from V2.1 to V3. This was with the release of V3. These efficiencies significantly reduce the documentation burden. I think for some scorecard, it reached up to 50% overlap between V2.1 and V3. We did host a webinar where we went over these efficiencies in more detail, and I think it's already been dropped in the chat box. So you can listen to the webinar for more details about the V2.1 to V3 recertification efficiencies. But before we dig into what's new, I'm going to let Denalyn give us a brief overview of these V2.1 to V3 recertifications because they're all kind of connected.
Yeah, so over the years, we've worked hard to improve our platform to make it efficient and seamless to support teams in maintaining and enhancing health and well-being in their assets through recertification. I do have to give a lot of credit to the passion and dedication of our standard team who carried most of the weight for mapping out these types of efficiencies. Over the years, we've gone from the recertification process not having any efficiencies to a much faster recertification process with efficiencies that map across versions, starting from V2.0 to V2.1, and now V2.1 to V3.0. Originally, we started with just pre-approved efficiencies, but we've since added the partially approved efficiencies to help ease the burden for projects not having to document everything all over again. And so for those recertification efficiencies, the credit assertions, option selections, and documentation carry over so users don't have to reselect or re-upload documentation. And for the first time ever, V3.0 now includes recertification efficiencies from design certification to built recertification to help support those projects transitioning between certification types.
Great.
Yeah. But overall, our recertification efficiencies aim to reduce redundant work so that it can free up the project team's time to focus on meaningful improvements or arrive faster at scorecard completion to earn recertification achievements sooner than later.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that we've expanded these recertification efficiencies to the FSP certification as well. I mean, this is super important because as I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, FSP is an annual certification and it's a scale solution. So the faster the recertification, the better. And we wanted to ensure that our users are going through the recertification process quickly to maintain their status for their assets and that they have more time to expand FSP onto additional assets every year, because that is the goal. Again, going back to market transformation, going back to expanding impact, that's always been our goal. So let's talk about how we expanded these efficiencies to FSP as well.
Yeah, definitely. So shown on the screen, FSP recertifications will include both of these types of efficiencies with pre-approved or partially approved. And the FSP recertification efficiencies vary scorecard by scorecard, but up to 90% of the strategies have some type of recertification efficiency, helping to reduce time and documentation and allowing portfolios to certify quickly at higher volumes.
That's great. Thank you, Denalyn. And one more update that I want to give that is coming soon, early next year. And if you haven't heard about this yet, again, go subscribe to our newsletters and follow our socials. I'm going to keep saying that. All right. Through this new partnership with the sensor company Aware, we will also be able to auto document the indoor air quality assessment strategy. This is something that we started setting up when we released the redesign with adding these input fields that you see on the screenshot. The reason for that was because we had this vision and we had this dream to be able to pull data directly from sensors into the platform. And we are making this dream come true early next year with this partnership with Aware Sensors. So for assets that are using or hopefully will be using the Aware Sensors in their spaces, the platform will be able to pull the required indoor air quality metrics and automatically document the strategy with the required data. This partnership also includes a lot of obviously due diligence and making sure that the Aware Sensors and all other sensors that we will partner with in the future meet the Fitwel requirements and that the thresholds are also met before the strategy is qualifies. So this further reduces the effort on users to calculate and input their sensor data onto the platform, which I know is a strategy that is a little bit tedious. So we're very excited about this first step. And similar to everything that we're doing, we plan to continue to build on this capability. So we have a vision for expanding this capability to more of the performance strategies. So more on that to come, and also expanding our partnerships to cover more sensors as well. So keep in touch with us, stay tuned. And let us know if you have thoughts and ideas. And if you want to start using this, also please reach out to our team as well so we can work with you. All right. This was such a great overview, and I saw some questions coming up in the chat box. We will get to that at the end. We're gonna have time for Q&A. But Denalyn, again, this was such a great overview and a great way for our users to really start setting up their 2026 certification goals. Before we open it up to Q&A, let's do a quick recap of how these features impact different types of users. So we can start with what is your recommendation for everyone who's attending today as the immediate next step?
Yeah, so first off, if you aren't a registered user of our Fitwel platform, register today. It's free to sign up, and plus, you'll have to be registered so your teammates can invite you to access projects that are being worked on. And just a friendly reminder to make sure that you do validate your email address as soon as you sign up in order to complete the registration process. Second, once you do have access to the platform, you can start using tools that are offered, like the scorecard recommendation tool, to see which scorecard best suits your asset. You can even download the scorecard checklist from there if you'd like to do project assessment before registering. And as always, visit the Help Center link that's available there if you have any questions at all. Lastly, definitely take advantage of the 10% certification discount mentioned before and shown here on this screen.
Yeah, thanks for that, Denalyn. All right, and what if I'm a first-time Fitwel user? How are the efficiencies we just covered useful to me?
Yeah. So the auto scored efficiency is a great feature for projects registering for the first time. And also, if you are new and have multiple assets that use shared policies or operational protocols, you can take advantage of our portfolio-wide strategies first so that those efficiencies can be automatically displayed once you register your project. I highly recommend taking advantage of PWS. Again, the service is free and it's a great entry point to the Fitwel experience as you determine which strategies you'd like to pursue, compile documentation, submit, and just go through the review process. It's just a friendly reminder that the PWS is an efficiency and not a certification, and it's also optional. It is an offering, but it's not a prerequisite towards certification.
Yeah, that's great. And also, you can set up your portfolio-wide strategies and then add assets to that portfolio as you want. You can create as many portfolios as you want on the platform, create as many different types of portfolio-wide strategies as, is suitable for your portfolios and your projects. And again, for any questions, we're happy to help. This is a new feature and we are learning from you as well. So we want to learn how you are using it as well. All right, so final question before we open it up to the group. If I already have projects certified using STAR and FSP or FSP, how will I experience these features?
Yeah, so if you have projects certified using STAR or FSP and you initiate recertification, you'll have a powerhouse of efficiencies catapulting you to scorecard completion. So let's just take one example of the workplace scorecard, like multi-tenant base building. You have the potential of reaching up to 56 strategies with all different efficiency offerings. 56 strategies. Again, this is just a single project. But before we end my part, I just wanted to say that the Fitwel team is always here to help support our many users going through their certification journey. So please, please, please reach out to us if you ever need any help or assistance at all.
Thank you, Denalyn. And thank you for your team. You guys have been very busy. I love how all these features work together and independently to make the documentation process more efficient and streamlined and really work with our clients on their specific needs. I feel like there's something for everyone here. And as you said, there is always more to come. All right, I am going to open it up for questions from the Q&A. I see that there are some in there. So bear with me as I scroll through them. I see a bunch of links as well. All right. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to see where. Okay, let me see some questions here. All right, so the first question that I'm seeing is if we have a project that has already been Fitwel 3-star certified, can we upload those policies to establish the portfolio-wide strategies for other projects we are pursuing for Fitwel? Yes, you can use the same policies that have already been approved. However, the process will still have to go through a review process just to set that up on the platform. Um, and the second question on that is that are there geographic limitations for PWS? There aren't any geographic limitations. It's really more about how your portfolios are set up and how you're setting up your where the portfolio wide strategies are implementable in your portfolio. So you will have to, for example, if you have multifamily residential projects, you will need to create portfolio-wide strategies for these multifamily residential projects, and then you will need to create another set for your workplace if you have like a mixed asset portfolio. Um, and I see, Bill, your other question is about Fitwel becoming a Fitwel champion. We will definitely reach out and set up a call so we can walk you through the different options and how and get you onboarded. We love having more Fitwel champions. Fitwel becoming a Fitwel champion is really great because it gives you access to discounts. It gives you access to someone from our team to help you through all the technical questions, set up monthly calls and quarterly goals. We work really closely with you and also marketing materials and marketing opportunities as well. I know Janelle's team leads that. So, yes, we will definitely reach out and set up a call to chat about all of this. Um, all right. To pull off a full scorecard offline. Okay, so this question is about having the ability to pull off a full scorecard offline. Uh, I need, so what we currently have, if I'm understanding this correctly, um, yes, what we currently have, this is what this question is about having access to the Fitwel scorecards offline and not having to go through the platform to see the requirements. We no longer have all the requirements for V3 available on the checklists. Um, and this is because there are multiple options, and it became very difficult to manage these checklists when we put everything on an Excel sheet. And we also wanted to make sure that all the content that you have on the Excel sheets is really up to date and that there isn't any discrepancies between what's on the platform and what's on the checklist. So what we've done, and I don't know if we can drop these checklists or a link to the checklist on the in the chat box. We have a checklist, an Excel checklist for every scorecard. And every strategy on the checklist links directly to our help center where you see the requirements and compliance documentations for that specific strategy. And the Excel sheet is really great because it also calculates your assessment. So you can start doing your assessment on that Excel before putting everything on that platform. We've also updated the platform to make it more streamlined and to help with that assessment. So we really want and encourage everyone to use the platform. But if you still want to use the Excel sheet, given like how your workflow is and your processes are, what Janelle really dropped in the chat box now is what links to the content and to the latest content and the online version of the requirements. But the strategies don't change, the requirements don't change. So just link directly from that Excel to the help center.
I just wanted to add too that a benefit of registering your project on the platform and getting access to V 3.0 is that if you do go through the strategy requirements or select yes or no, or even if you don't do that at all, you can use the FSP gap analysis where you can see like areas of opportunity, strength, or scorecard summaries, which like list all the strategies. And I've heard that it's just a really great tool to share with the different stakeholders part of a project team.
Yeah. And Maria, we can reach out to you separately as well, just to see if there's anything more that we can help you with to make this process more smoother for you. I know that a lot of our users actually work offline and make their assessments offline before moving to the platform. So we're always trying to create more tools to streamline these processes as well. All right. Any other questions before we close out? All right. I don't see anything else come through, but again, as we said, always reach out to us. We're always here. And I want to thank you, Denalyn, again for walking us through this great work. Thank you, Janelle, for facilitating. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, make sure to take advantage of all these features to get your project submissions by December 31st, especially if you are reporting for GRASB. And please take advantage of the promo code that you see on the screen right now. We will follow up with resources and links and the recording of this webinar, and we will answer any of the questions that we may not have gotten to on this live Q&A. Um, and as always, reach out. Have a great day, everyone. And for those of you who celebrate, happy holidays.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.